Let's start with the strange and slowly work our way toward the truly terrifying. Today, we're diving into the bizarre, the shocking, and the downright horrifying foods that human beings have not only eaten, but in some cases, celebrated. From ancient rituals to modern-day delicacies, these are meals that make you wonder why on earth did anyone ever try this in the first place. Number 10. Century eggs. At first glance, century eggs don't look that bad. They almost look like something from an art museum. Shiny, black, jelly-like eggs that have been preserved in clay, ash, and quicklime for months. In reality, they're only 100 days old, not a century, but the name alone is enough to keep most tourists far away. The terrifying part isn't the appearance, it's the smell. Imagine combining rotten cheese, ammonia, and sulfur, then multiplying it by 10. That's the aroma you get before you even take the first bite. And yet, in China, century eggs are considered a delicacy, served with congee or sliced into appetizers. Locals describe the flavor as rich, savory, and complex. Outsiders usually describe it as tasting like a dare. So, while it may not kill you, the psychological warfare of century eggs earns them the opening spot on this list. Number 9. Casu Marzu, the maggot cheese. Next up, we head to Sardinia, Italy, for what may be the most controversial cheese on earth. Casu Marzu starts out as a normal wheel of pecorino. But here's the twist. The cheese is deliberately infested with live larvae. Yes, tiny white maggots that crawl, squirm, and jump when disturbed. The maggots eat through the cheese, breaking down fats and creating a soft, spreadable texture that Sardinians insist tastes heavenly. But here's the problem. If you eat Casu Marzu, you're not just eating cheese, you're eating it while it's still alive. The maggots are often consumed along with the cheese, and if they survive digestion, they can cause severe intestinal issues. The European Union has technically banned Casu Marzu, calling it unsafe. But locals see it as part of their heritage, and black market wheels of the maggot cheese still sell for hundreds of euros. It's the kind of food that separates the adventurous from the insane. Number 8. Hakarl, the fermented shark. In Iceland, there's a food so terrifying that even celebrity chefs have spat it out on camera. Hakarl is Greenland shark that's been buried in gravel for months, left to ferment, then hung to dry until the flesh is considered edible. The Greenland shark itself is poisonous when fresh, because it's filled with toxic levels of urea and trimethylamine oxide. The fermentation process breaks down these compounds, but not completely. What you're left with is meat that smells like pure ammonia. Locals describe it as an acquired taste. Outsiders describe it as eating a urinal cake that's been set on fire. Tradition says that first-timers should hold their nose while swallowing, then immediately chase it with a shot of Brennivin, Iceland's signature liquor. If that's the tradition, you already know this isn't food. It's a survival challenge disguised as culture. Number 7. Fugu, the deadly pufferfish. When it comes to terrifying foods, nothing compares to the Russian roulette of eating fugu, also known as pufferfish. This delicacy, popular in Japan, contains tetrodotoxin, so potent that a single drop can paralyze and kill within minutes. The danger comes from improper preparation. Only licensed chefs who train for years are legally allowed to prepare fugu. Even then, accidents still happen. Every few years, cases emerge of people being hospitalized or worse for eating a single bite of improperly sliced pufferfish. The real question is, why risk it? Fans claim the thrill is part of the experience. The slight numbing sensation on the lips and tongue is considered proof that you're eating it correctly. Personally, if my dinner starts making parts of my body go numb, I'm calling an ambulance, not asking for seconds. Number 6. Balut, the developing duck embryo. Now we arrive in the Philippines, where balut is both a street food and a cultural staple. Balut is a fertilized duck egg that has been incubated for about 2 weeks. When you crack it open, you don't just get yolk. You get a partially developed duck embryo, feathers, beak, bones, and all. The traditional way to eat balut is simple: crack open the shell, sip the broth, then eat the rest whole. Some describe the taste as rich and comforting, like chicken soup with extra protein. Others describe it as traumatic, For locals, balut is a source of pride and nostalgia. For foreigners, it's often the final round in a food dare. And while it's packed with nutrients, vitamins, and protein, the psychological challenge of staring at tiny, undeveloped feathers before biting down is what lands balut high on this list. Number 5. Sannakji, the living octopus. In South Korea, there's a dish that takes fresh to an entirely new and terrifying level. Sannakji is raw octopus served immediately after being chopped into small pieces. But here's the catch. The tentacles are still wriggling. The suction cups remain active, meaning they can latch onto your tongue, cheeks, or even the inside of your throat while you're trying to swallow. Locals see it as a delicacy, a test of bravery, and sometimes even a romantic date night food. But the risk is real. Every year, cases are reported of people choking to death after a suction cup clings to their windpipe. In fact, some restaurants post warning signs reminding diners to chew thoroughly. When a meal needs a choking hazard warning, you know it's more terrifying than tasty. Number 4. Ortolan bunting, the forbidden bird. This French delicacy has been surrounded by both secrecy and controversy for centuries. Ortolan is a tiny songbird that is captured, force-fed, drowned in brandy, roasted whole, and then eaten bones and all. Traditionally, diners cover their heads with a napkin while consuming it. Some say to trap in the aroma, others say to hide their shame from God. For decades, the dish was considered a mark of luxury among French elites. But today, it's illegal both for animal cruelty reasons and because the bird is endangered. Still, whispers remain of secret gatherings where ortolan is served in defiance of the law. The terror here isn't just the preparation. It's the idea of sitting at a candlelit table, head covered, crunching through tiny bones, and knowing you're eating something banned. The guilt might taste worse than the bird itself. Number 3. Cobra heart, still beating. In parts of Vietnam, there exists a ritual that blurs the line between food and spectacle. A cobra is brought to your table, alive. In front of you, the snake is killed, its body drained for blood and bile, which are then mixed into shots of alcohol. But the true centerpiece is the still beating heart, served immediately in a glass or sometimes placed directly onto your tongue. Locals claim it boosts strength, virility, and courage. Tourists often describe it as one of the most intense experiences of their lives. But make no mistake, this isn't a meal. It's a performance designed to terrify and impress. The thought of swallowing something that is still pulsing inside your mouth is enough to haunt anyone's nightmares. And yet people line up for the chance. Number 2. Monkey brain, served raw. Few foods have inspired as much horror in the global imagination as raw monkey brain. Popularized in urban legends and sensationalized stories, it's said to have been consumed in certain regions of Asia, sometimes served directly from the skull of the animal. The ethics alone make this one of the most disturbing entries on the list. Not only does it cross cultural taboos about animal cruelty, but the risk of disease is enormous. Consuming primate brain tissue can transmit deadly viruses and parasites, making this dish not just terrifying but potentially suicidal. While many experts debate how widespread the practice truly is, even the possibility is enough to cement it as one of the most horrifying foods ever described. Number 1. Human flesh. History sets, darkest meal. And finally, we reach the darkest and most terrifying food of all, human flesh. Throughout history, famine, survival situations, and ritual practices have led to acts of cannibalism, from the Donner Party in 19th century America to accounts from shipwreck survivors stranded at sea. Desperate humans have turned to the unthinkable. In some cultures, cannibalism was even ritualized, believed to honor the dead or absorb their strength. But the horror is universal. The psychological trauma, the taboo, and the knowledge that consuming human flesh can spread diseases like Kuru make this the ultimate forbidden meal. Unlike the other entries on this list, which are bizarre, shocking, or even deadly, this one cuts to the core of what it means to be human. Eating another person isn't just terrifying, it's a line most of us cannot imagine crossing, no matter the circumstance. So there you have it. 10 of the most terrifying foods ever eaten. From eggs that smell like ammonia to rituals that involve still beating hearts, these dishes push the boundaries of culture, tradition, and survival. But here's the question. Is food just about taste? Or is it also about the stories, the risks, and the extremes that people will go to in search of meaning, pride, or identity? For some, these meals are heritage. For others, they're nightmares on a plate. Either way, one thing's for certain. After this list, you'll never look at dinner the same way again.